Und jetzt ist uns erstmal der Bundestrainer zugeschaltet, Gordon Herbert, der sich ja die Philippinen gewünscht hatte. Jetzt ist es Japan geworden. Mr. Herbert, what's your reaction? It's a very, very tough group with Finland, with Australia and Japan.
Interesting group. First of all, I'd just like to take a moment. All the players that played in the windows. There'll be a lot of those players who will not be invited to camp, but all were part of the success of getting to the World Cup. And I'd just like to say thanks to all those players that played and committed. And there's a lot of criticism about this way, that way. But the one positive thing with the windows, it gives a lot of players a chance to represent their country, whereas they might not have that opportunity. Group, yeah. We were in the group of death last summer, and in Eurobasket, we're in another tough group, especially with Japan being the host.
Yeah. And you said your wish was to play on the Philippines for logistic reasons. What do you think of Japan now?
It's the toughest place to go from Abu Dhabi. So, no, it is what it is. It's a draw, and it is what it is. And, the main thing is we just make sure we're ready to play. Yeah. And it doesn't matter who we're playing. If you want to get to the podium, or you're gonna have to play every game and win games.
So it's Australia, one of the best teams in the world. It's Japan, one of the hosts, and it's Finland. And you know Finland and Finnish basketball quite well. How tough will it be to play this team with Markkanen?
Markkanen is, for me, he's a top 5 player in the world in FIBA. And, he's a difference maker for that team, obviously. It's basically be the same team that we played in November in Bamberg, plus Markkanen, and maybe 1 or 2 other kids that play in the States. So it's a good team, but we have to have the same mentality that we went into Eurobasket. We had to play France, Lithuania, Slovenia in Eurobasket in our group, and you got to respect the opponent, but in no way do we fund it, and that's got to be our mentality going in.
Talking about Eurobasket, you were the one that talked about winning a medal very early, and we were all like, "Oh, that's quite optimistic." But in the end, you won a medal. What's the goal for the upcoming World Cup?
The first thing for the World Cup is, a big part of this job is getting your players to commit to the timetable, 1, and 2, make a commitment to come in shape to camp. So those 2 things are huge, because our camps are trying to get players in shape. So those 2 things come into play right away. The goal is to get to the podium. And whereas we qualify for the Olympics. We have a great group of players that have committed. Last year's team was tremendous, and I think the best word to describe last year's team was team. It was a team, and we had about 4 or 5 players hurt that couldn't participate last year, and we'll have to see where everybody is when we start in August, and it's difficult to speculate, who's healthy, who has insurance, who doesn't have insurance, contract issues. So, we take who's there, and we try to make the best possible team we can.
So let's talk again about Finland. What's your connection to Finland after coaching there, having been there?
No, both my boys played for the junior national teams. I coached the junior national team a long time ago. I'm good friends with all their whole coaching staff, and so it's interesting. My kids are Finnish, so it's we played them twice in the window, and they've done an outstanding job the last 5 years, creating identity, creating a team, developing players. So, I'm sure they're happy to be in Japan. It's an easy trip for them. So,
Yeah,
it's a very interesting group. Australia obviously is a completely different team than a lot of European teams. Very tough, physical, hard-nosed, great tradition. And then Japan at home, obviously, they have a couple very good players.
yeah, it's very, very interesting, and we're looking forward to it. Thanks so much for your time, Gordon Herbert.
Thank you.